Hey, good evening, everybody. So good to see all of you. And welcome to our World AIDS Day event. This is the 26th year for World AIDS Day. Woo! And it's looking better all the time. It's not like it was when I started working in HIV in 1992. We have come a long ways, and people are living with HIV and living well.
I found out that I was HIV positive in the year 2000. I had to tell my husband because I got married in 97. And while he was getting his test done, he held my hand and he said, "Our vows say in sickness and in health. I love you and I'm going to keep you here as long as I can." So here we are 17 years later. He's still HIV negative and I'm HIV positive. AIDS stands for, and I don't surrender to my chronic illnesses and diseases. There's life after any diagnosis.
A whole team of doctors came into my room and gave me the devastating news. You are HIV positive, AIDS defined. All I could do was cry. I was still a virgin, no body piercings, no tattoos, no blood transfusions. I contracted HIV from my mother. There was a lot of anger, resentment, frustration, all bottled up into one. I blamed her for everything. My psychologist helped me out a lot. And then she referred me to a place called Jocks Initiative. And that's where my darkness became light.
So positively me, because it's the only way I know how to be. I know that. My story starts with the 18-year-old me. I used to work downtown, believe it or not, changing trash. I changed a trash bag and I went to get a little bit of hip, and a needle stuck me in my thigh. I was diagnosed with HIV. So who do I get mad at? I wasn't born with it. I didn't do anything to get it. So I was like, God, it's your fault. As I got older and I became this thing called an activist, whatever that is, and I started disclosing my story, all I had was just an experience. I need to be that person that goes in there to talk to the youth, because I don't want them to have that experience I had with this doctor talking about track when he's like 80 and he's probably negative. But I don't feel like I can connect with you, you know? I like to bring positivity into the spectrum because I don't like to dwell on things. I just don't feel like we should. I feel like when things happen to us, we're so easy, and it's so much easier to get depressed and dwell and cry, which you should. But at some point, lift out of that animosity. Be a phoenix, come out of the ashes, you know?
19, 20 years ago, I was diagnosed with AIDS. My weight was down to 62 pounds. The one doctor said that I must have had an angel watching over me because by medical terms, I should have not been sitting in a chair. I had about 1 to 2 months to live. The thing that came to mind was not how I was going to live, but what people were going to say. And my mother was sitting out in the waiting room, and how was I going to tell my mother that, I had AIDS? I stood in the mirror and I asked God, why me? And what had I done that God had allowed this, to happen to me? Today, I'm a peer advocate, and I go throughout the hospital, and like I said, I stand and I help others and let others know that there is hope.
I thank God that I've been living and thriving with HIV for over 32 years. The challenge is to live each moment as fully as you can, knowing that you can't bargain on it being around next week. Thank you, and I'm glad to see everybody here.
When they called me to the health department, they told me I was HIV positive, and 2.5 weeks later, I was told I was pregnant. The stigma was just awful. And one of the things that I began to do was to educate myself to make sure that anything that I can do to make sure that my child would be okay when he's 20 years old today and he's HIV negative, going to school. It took me 5 years to actually talk about HIV, and when I did, I began to embrace life because I saw that what I went through in the past, it was to help someone else to cross over.
Perspective is always key in life. We all have aspirations like success in school, happiness, and money. We are beautifully complex, so let's dance and celebrate together. Pizza, good jams in the office, or excited to start a new chapter in life, there's always something to dance about.